started the recording, and now I'm going to share my screen. Is everybody able to see my screen? It should be a picture of opening concepts. So this is a book that was written by Michihito Kageyama. And today we're going to talk about his proverb number 2, which is called make an outfield point. So outfield points. Outfield are your 7 through 12 points. Now, your outfield points, they are also in your outer board. You know, you have an inner board and an outer board. So today we're going to be focusing on making points in the outer board. And all of these are in the opening. So from Mark Olson, the first 4 moves of the game is considered to be the opening. And if you think about it, you play the opening in every game. So it's very good to have a good understanding of these plays. Now, why would you want, so let's say let's take a look at a position right here. I'm going to switch over to XG for a moment. And this is a position in Michy's book. So as you can see, Brown started off this game with a 2-1, and they played 13-11, and they split their backbend 24-23. And then Tan, they also rolled a 2-1, and they played theirs the same way. 1 checker down, and they split their backman. And now in this position right here, you roll a 6-2. So the question is, how should you play this 6-2? Would anybody like to take a guess? Okay,
Sure. Oh,
go for it.
24,
was that for me?
13
Oh.
to 11.
So 24-13, 13-11.
24, 18.
24-18, 13-11. And that is correct. And as the theme of this is right here, it's to make an outer board point. So in this case right here, ideally you would like to make an inner board point, but you're not able to. So if you're not able to make an inner board point, then you should strive to make an outer board point. So I'm going to hit XG so we can see its analysis. And as you can see, 24-18, 13-11 is clearly the best play. And it looks like this when you get it done. So the question is, why is it important to make this outfield point? So I'm going to go back here to my PowerPoint presentation. And there are basically 3 good reasons. So when you make your 11 point right there, they basically become builders to make other points. And a builder basically has a range of 6 pips. So in this case right here, making the anchor on your 11 point, it is a builder for your 5, 7, 9, and 10 points. So why else is making an outfield point good? It makes it more difficult for your opponent to escape. As you can see right here, the only way that your opponent can escape their backman is to roll like a 6-5, or because they split their checker, they can also get the checker that's on the 2 point safe with a 5-5. But if they roll any other numbers, they're basically trapped back there. And if they hadn't split their backman, then the only way they could escape would be with the 6-5. So they're very good for making it more difficult for your opponent to escape. And the third reason is these outfield points become part of a prime. So in this case right here, your prime starts on your 6 point and it goes back 6 points. So as you can see, any outfield points you make, 7, 9, 10, or 11, they're going to be part of a prime where you're trying to get 6 checkers together. So those are some good reasons. Now, having said that, what I did is I have a lot of students. And so I went through and looked at a lot of plays that happened in the opening in which some of the students made the incorrect moves. So I'm going to present some of those to you today. And let's take a look at them. Okay, so I'm going to close this one down right here. We just looked at that one there. So let me pull one of these up here. So I'm calling these here all opening concepts, Proverb 2, and we're going to take a look at one of these here. So this is about like on your third move right here. And notice you're 10 and you rolled a 4-2. And so you have some options right here. As you can see, you can make your 4-point, you can make your 9-point, or you can make your 7-point. Or you can make your 9 and 11 points. So you have choices. But would anybody like to take a stab at this? What do you think is the correct play?
Make the 7-point.
Okay. So you like this play right here.
Yes.
Okay. And as you can see, if you make the 7-point right here, you do end up with a 3 prime, which means you have 3 points in a row. Now, your opponent has made an anchor on your 3-point. As you can see, they can escape with a 6. Is there anyone who thinks that you should make the 9-point?
I do. Richard.
This is
I do as
Richard.
well.
Now, as you can see, if you make the 9-point, you are blocking their 6s right here. But you see, you have that gap there on your 7-point. Okay. Now, there is a third play too, which I would like you to take a look at before I show you the answer.
Make the 4-point.
4-point.
Is there anybody who thinks we should make the 4-point?
I think I did.
So, you know, a lot of times in the opening, let's say, especially if this was a 3-1, they like for you to make your 5-point. And sometimes you might have the option to make the 4-point. Do you see this right here?
Mhm.
Is there anybody who thinks this would be the correct play?
No.
And it's probably because you leave these 2 blots out here and you can get hit with a 6.
Right.
So anyway, let's take a look and see what XG says.
And your 8-point is stripped.
Right,
Oh,
your
look at that.
8-point is stripped also too. Now, as you can see, XG prefers 13-9, 11-9.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? Well, notice you do have 4 points in your prime, and you have spare checkers on your 6 and 9-point that can be used to make your 5 and 7 points.
Hmm.
So that is the answer to this particular question right here.
It's
Guys-
interesting that the 4-point wasn't even an option.
Well, actually,
Oh.
yeah, it wasn't, but the 11-7-9-7
Oh, you
is
know
the
what?
third
You
on
know
the
what?
list.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. Let me put this back to the original position. I moved my, I'm move the checkers around. Okay. So let me undo this here. Okay. Let me get back to the original position here.
Okay.
Okay. This is the original position. Would you agree?
Mhm.
Okay. And now I'm going to hit the plus key. Okay. Well, that's what I like. All right. So let's continue on to the next position.
So there it does show the 4-point, but it's the 6th, it's down number 6 in terms of plays or 5.
Yes, and it looks like this here. And the reason why this is wrong is you can see they can hit you with a 6, which is 11 rolls plus 2, 2, and 4, 2. They can also, they have double hits like 6, 2 right here. So if you're just giving your opponent too many good rolls right there. So yes. So let's move on to another position. So file, open. So this is going to be the second position right here. Now, in this case right here, notice you rolled a 6-5. And the two main choices are you could run like 24 to 13, you know, the lover's leap move, or you could make your 8-point with the 5 and split your backman, or 3, you could bring 2 checkers down. So you do have some choices right here. So as you can see in this game right here, Brown opened with a, looks like a 6-4 and then a 1-1. But anyway, how would you play the 6-5, anybody?
I bring 2 from the 13.
So you would bring 2 from the
Same.
13 to
I
look like this
concur.
here. And as you see, this does give you a solid 4 prime with extra spares up there. Is there anybody else who would play this differently?
Lover's leap.
No,
Okay. Lover's leap, basically, it does get that checker to safety.
what,
But it does leave a block right there, as you can see, that can be hit with a 1-6, a 2-5, and a 3-4, 6 rolls. Okay.
He's black is awfully stacked up, not very flexible.
right.
Only the 9-point gives him more than the sort of standard rolls. And he's got no board. There's no board. It's
Okay.
going to wait the 6-point.
And a ton of checkers are on the 13 point now.
That is correct. So you do have these 6 checkers on a point. And normally you don't like to play with 6 checkers on a point because it cuts down your, what we call flexibility. But is there anybody who likes this other move right here? We'll put this back here to the original position here. Did anybody consider 24-18 and 13-8? Nobody liked that move.
No, I did.
Oh, you did.
I did. It's a possibility, but I honestly think Teresa's move's the best.
All
Hey,
right.
Julius, what about making the 18 point with from the 24 and the 23?
Sure could.
I think both of those checkers were on the 24. I don't think they were split. I don't remember them being split.
Yeah, they weren't split.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they weren't split. Okay,
Gotcha.
well, let's take a look at what
Disregard.
XG says. So I hit the plus key. And as you can see, it actually liked 24-18 and
Where'd it
13-8. And why
Where'd
is
it go?
that?
Du-te undeva pe stradă. Du-te undeva pe stradă.
Where did it go? It went away.
Oh, here's the analysis.
Okay.
As you can see, this move is preferred. So first of all, you make the 4 prime
Oh,
and you unstack from your 13 point. So you no longer have 5 checkers there. Now, if you remember from last week's lesson, as you can see, you have 2 innerboard points. So if your opponent is on the bar, how many rolls would prevent them from coming in? Anybody? So
4.
4. And remember, we square the number of your inner board points. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 rolls will keep brown from coming in. And if 10 was on the bar, how many rolls would keep them from coming in? If 10 was on the bar and brown only has the 6 points,
Te până acolo.
that would be 1 roll.
Te poți duce?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the 6s.
so this is a very important concept. There is this concept. I haven't really seen this really written in any books or whatever.
E 1,375 parcă avea.
It's the concept of what we call boardage. Boardage is the relationship between how many inner-board points you have and how many inner-board points your opponent has. So in this case, we have 2 inner-board points and they have 1 inner-board point. So if we were to get into a backgammon fight is where I hit your blot and then you hit my blot. Some people call this a blot hitting exchange. But in any case, whoever has the strongest inner board, they have an advantage because once again, 4 rows keep them out and 1 row keeps you out. And what you're going to see in these positions and in some of our future lessons, when you have a boardage advantage, so we could say in this position here, 10 has 2-to-1 boardage. So when you have a boardage advantage, you want to get into a fight because you have an advantage. So you spread out your checkers. So don't fear brown hitting your block because if brown hits your block right now, 1 row keeps you out, 35 lets you in. Oftentimes, unless they throw a good number like 2-1, 6-1, 2-2, or 6-2, where they're able to point on you, but a lot of times they're not. Now, if they make an inner board point, then your blot on the 18 can run to safety, or you might be able to anchor there. But the main thing is you want to engage in a fight when you have the boardage advantage. And you're going to see this again later. So any questions about this one right here? I don't think anybody chose that move, but you're going to see this concept again and again and again, this boardage concept. So let me continue. So I'm going to close this down. And let me pull up the next position. So once again, these are all from positions from my students that they recently played, let's say in these last few weeks. So I'm going to go to position 3 right now. Okay. So in this position right here, as you can see, you rolled a 6-2. So the question is, how should we play this 6-2 right now? So as you can see, 10 opened with the 2-1. They brought 1 down and split their backman. Brown rolled a 3-1, and now you have a 6-2 to play. So you have some choices right here. Would anybody like to take a stab at this? It's only your second roll.
Can we go 24 to 18 and 13 to 11?
I agree.
So
That's my move.
24 to 18 and 13 to 11. Okay, this is certainly one possibility. You have secured your outfield point, but also you should notice here though that your opponent has 2-to-1 boardage. So how might that affect your decision? So I'm going to put this back to its original position. Is there anyone who thinks you should run with one of your backmen?
Me.
And which one would you run with? The 24, the 23.
24, 18, and I would go 13, 11.
Okay, that's the same move we just looked
That's the
at.
same. You could
Oh,
take the
sorry.
23 up to the 15 or
Right. So as you can see, you could go 23 to 21, and then you could take that checker again up to the 15.
Oh, I don't like that.
okay, I've got another one though.
Okay.
What if you took the 13 to the 7 and the 5? Like, is that just sheer insanity? Because you're trying to build your 5-point.
Okay. So the suggestion was 13 to 7 and then 7 to 5. Okay. So remember what we just got through talking about,
Yeah.
backgammon fight. So do you see that Brown has 2 innerboard points to your 1?
Yes.
So this is like getting into a backgammon fight where they got 4 guys and you got 1 guy.
Okay.
So what you're going to learn is when your opponent has a boardage advantage, you want to avoid getting into the fight.
Okay.
Want to play safe. Play safe means trying to reduce your number of blots. And as you can see, this is increasing your number of blots. So
Okay.
it's not going to be right. As you can see, a lot of these things here, you've been playing these moves very quickly without thinking about things. And once again, this is just like the second roll of the game. So I'm going to put this checker back over here. So let's take a look and see what XG says, and then we'll discuss some of those other possibilities. 24, 18, 13, 11, as you can see, is the best play. So why is that? Well, basically, when your opponent has a stronger innerboard, you want to play safer and trying to avoid getting in the backgammon fight. So what this means, the number one thing you should try to do is to reduce the number of your blots. So as you see, you started out with 3 blots. By making this play right here, you did reduce your blots to 2. So they have less targets to attack. Now, if your blot on your 23 point gets hit, how many pips will it lose to go to the bar, anybody? 2 pips, right. Because it will go from 23 to 25. And the checker on your 18, how many pips would it lose?
7.
It would be 7 because it would go from the 18
yeah.
to the 25. But if you had this blot on your 11 point hit, it's going to go to the 11 to the 25. It's going to lose 14 pips.
15.
15. Yep.
Well, so anyway, well, it goes from 11 to 25, so it would lose 14. What would happen is they would have to hit it with a 10, 6, 4, which is 10. And then you would lose additional 14 for a total of 24. Because remember the rule, from wherever you hit from, that's how many pips you lose. So they hit you with a 10 and you lose another 14. So anyway, it is more important when they have boardage that the first thing you want to try to do is to cut down on your blots. Now, someone said 24 to 16, but notice this leaves you with 3 blots. So you didn't cut down on your blots. It's going to be wrong. The other play of running out here is even worse because they have more numbers to hit you with. Someone said 13 to 5. As you can see, this is a super big blunder right here. It's in red down here. Once again, it's the wrong idea to try to increase the number of blots when you're outboarded.
But Julius, the 24-16 isn't all that much worse than the original.
It's actually 7%. With
Okay.
8%, it becomes a blunder.
8,
So
okay.
it is still
Gotcha.
considered bad.
All right.
It's a big error. So anyway, let's continue on.
So green isn't always good.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up another position that's early in the game. So here's another interesting little situation right here. As you can see, you're 10 and you're on the bar and you roll a 4-2. So you have some choices here. You can either come in on the 2-point or come in on their 4-point. And notice you have the option to make your 9-point, or you can take a swing at them and go 9-5 and hit them. So you do have choices again. Once again, this is early in the game, and you throw this 4-2 right here. So any suggestions on how we might want to make this play, anybody?
13 to 9 and go in on your 2
On
point.
the 2.
I agree with that.
I like that too.
Come in on the 2, hit with the
There you
hit on
go.
the 5.
So
I like that.
So the first
I'm on the hit.
suggestion was you come in on the 2 and you make your 9-point. Okay. The second suggestion is that you come in on the 2 and you hit them on your 5-point. So there are times, there are different rules out there. Like later on, we're going to get to Proverb 3. Proverb 3 says fight for a good point, which means your 5-point, 4-point, and 7-point. So this would be an example of doing that. But it may or may not be correct here. So any other suggestions? You can also, let me take it back. This guy's back on the bar. So as you can see, the main two things is, should you make the 9-point or should you attack that blot over there? So let's see what the computer says right here. And notice the better play is bar 23, 13 to 9.
Wow.
Why is that?
Good gravy.
I know not many of you would have done that, but here's what I want you to think about. Do you see that you have made an outer board point?
Yeah.
And so you have secured that blot over there. Do you also see that you have a 15 pip lead in the race? Do you also see that they have 3 backmen and you have 2 backmen? And do you see that you are shooting at their 7-point over here? So they're going to be mainly focused on trying to not get the blot on their 7-point hit. But so basically, you have improved your position when you make an outfield point. It's like, once again, it's an asset. It is a builder to help you make your other points, because it goes from the 9 all the way to the 3. And it's a 3rd point in your prime right here. So, but the main thing right here is that when this secures a lead in the race and your opponent doesn't really have much they can do right now. Somebody suggested this move right here, bar 23, 9-5 hit. But as you can see, they can come up from the bar and hit you with the 5. That's 11 rolls directly. But really, there's more rolls than that, because they can come in like with a 1-4, a 2-3, a 4-1, a 2-4, a 3-4. I mean, and then all of a sudden, like right now, when they hit you, you're going to lose 25 pips right here. So you're going to go from having a solid 15 pip lead to the potential of more than half the time getting sent back, and now you got 3 blots back there also too. So oftentimes just securing the lead in the race, and the key here is you have 2 back men and they have 3 back men. So there's no reason for you to get into this fight right now. Just be happy, maintain your racing lead. If they don't anchor here on your 5 point, you can attack them next roll. You got everything going for you right now.
Julius, isn't it also true that having the 9 gives you another safe landing spot on your way around the board?
That is true. So oftentimes, let's say your opponent may make an anchor here. So if they make an anchor right here, then they're playing a holding game. If they're playing a holding game, your strategy is to make blocking points in front of them. Like these blocking points make it more difficult for them to escape. And as you pointed out, Jeff, it does provide a safe landing place for you right here. And oftentimes later in the game, if they roll a double, like a double 1, a double 3, or a double 4, you're blocking those doubles and it makes them move checkers other places. But yes, so this would be the proper play right here. Okay, I have a few more plays to show you. So let me continue on here. So I'm going to close this one down here. As you can see, you do have options and there are different ways of playing these here. So this is the 5th position. Okay. So as you can see, you're on the bar and you throw this really nice roll, this 2-2. When you throw an exceptionally good roll like this here, they call it a joker. And also we threw doubles. So when you throw doubles, you have many, many choices. So you should slow down. But the key to doubles is that you should move them one at a time, doing the most important thing first, stop and reassess the situation, then do the second best thing. And then if you have any more left, stop and reassess and then do the third best thing. So how are we going to play our first 2 right here?
We have to come out to the 23.
Very good. We have to come in.
And then I would cover 13 to 11. Then I would hit with the 6 to the 4 with 2.
Agree.
So let me ask you a question. What is more important, hitting that blot or making your 11 point?
Hitting the blot.
Hitting the blot, but I had it out of order. But
Right.
that's
So it's very important to do things in order. Otherwise, so in this case right here, hitting the blot is important because A, you put them on the bar, you take away half of their roll, and you have the initiative. So now that you're in this situation right here, we have one more 2 left. So the question is, should we make our 11 point or should we try to move up to get past their 3 prime? Do you see how you're kind of blocked back there where you don't have what we call daylight? So with the last 2, you can go 23-21. I guess you could go 11-9 or 13-11. Would anybody like to take a stab at how we should play this last 2?
Actually, it's only one move left.
Right, we have 1-2 left. So should you go 23-21, 11-9, or 13-11?
I go 23-21.
13-11.
Yeah,
So
me
some
too.
people like coming up here with the idea that now you can make an anchor up here and you have daylight so you don't get trapped back there. So that definitely is one choice, but I heard somebody else say something different.
13-11.
13-11. Now 13-11 does make an outer board point. And it could have been hit with a 4-6, but now you see it's not.
Right.
Okay. So what did the XG say and why? As you can see, it likes 2321 with the last two. Oh, could that be right?
No, that's not
No.
right because you moved the checkers.
Okay, you're right. Let me
I'm making
undo.
a 4.
Thank you. I was going to say that doesn't look right.
That's the fifth two.
Okay, so let me correct that. Okay, because this is a position right here, I can put this back. Okay. So,
And yellow's on the bar, not black.
yes, thank you very much, Karen.
And the 4 point isn't made.
Okay,
You might be able to just open it up again.
yeah. Yeah, let me do that. Wow. All right, so we're back to the original position. Whoever suggested that, good idea. That makes my job easier. As you can see, XG prefers you to secure your 11 point. It is the only, let's say, move that's not an error or a blunder. Like the bar 21 move does help you to make an anchor right here, but securing this outfield point, it's like now you end up with the magic number of 10 plus checkers in the attack zone also too. And your opponent can't hit you out there like with a 5-6. And once again, you're now in a good position to blitz and prime right now. Getting that 10th checker in the attack zone allows you to make 5 points with 2 checkers on a point. So that is the reason why that one is better than coming up to the 21. Okay.
So, Julius, we're getting to the point where people are going to need to go back to the main room. Is this a good place to stop, or you've got a little bit more you want to?
If I could just show you one more position, and I'll be done in 2 minutes, okay? So because it's got an important point on it. Okay. Notice you throw a 3-2 right here. You have the choice to either make the 22-point anchor or cover the 11. Which do you think is more important? Anybody?
Make the anchor.
Cover the 11.
I
Okay.
covered the 11.
Right. So here's the thing. Do you see they have 2 innerboard points to your 1?
Yes.
Very important concept. When they have a stronger board than you want to reduce your number of blots. And also, you don't want to get into a fight. So as you can see, the correct move is going to be to make your anchor right here. So whenever they have a stronger innerboard than you, it's more important to make an anchor over here than it is to make your outfield point. I had another position like this here too, but this is enough for now. But anyway, all these are around proverb number 2. making an interboard point. And these are some of the considerations. So we're going to call it a day right now because it's time for you guys to go play in a tournament. And hopefully some of these moves will come up today and you'll get a chance to use some of these new things you learned.